Okay. Hey everybody, would like to welcome Coach Ken Brasington here today. He's a long time coach in the Erie area and also at the college level, all over the different places. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well, Mo. Thank you so much for having me here. This is an honor. This is a great adventure that you have going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be huge in our community.
Yeah, it's been really good just to learn the history and, because we know a lot of you guys as coaches, but now we get to learn about your career actually when you played and things like that too. So it's been really interesting.
Well, again, thank you so much for taking this endeavor over.
So, Coach, let's talk about where you grew up, the city, the state. Tell a little bit about the neighborhood you grew up in.
Erie, PA, born and raised. I was very fortunate. We lived, starting off, as far as I can remember, back down on 8th and Ash in a rental unit. And then my parents bought a home on East 22nd Street, 500 block, right next to my grandparents. And they were immigrants from Poland,
No.
Busha and Jaja.
Oh.
And Jaja taught me how to do everything with tools, how to
Okay.
build, how to cut,
Wow.
how to cuss in Polish. and how to take me fishing. We spent a lot of time together catching fish and good stuff like that. I have wonderful memories of both sets of grandparents. The neighborhood was tremendous. I mean, there were kids all over the place. 30 yards away was an open field on 22nd and Wallace, and it was called The Field.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Oh, yeah.
And from morning till when the street lights came on and you had to get yourself home, we played everything under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the season and depending on what we made up as games.
Right.
And snowball fights and just, it was a great neighborhood to be in with a bunch of really active kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a second neighborhood with my other set of grandparents that their background was Irish, and that was down on 3rd and Wayne.
Mm.
And it was a very eclectic neighborhood.
Mm.
We had Bobby Hayes across the street, who's about 10 years older than me, and babysat me. Grandma Moses was next door. She made great apple pie. Always had me over to her house. So I was really blessed in those two neighborhoods and that activity and those types of backgrounds.
So how'd you get into organized? I know you guys play in the neighborhood, but like organized sports. Did you play that as did they have like little league teams or?
They had little league teams. I didn't take much of an interest in baseball other than playing in the field. But in 5th grade was the first year of Little Gritters. And my dad was a great athlete.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the Metro Hall of Fame. He was all-state, 3 sports. And he never pushed me in anything, but he was always there playing with us and so forth. So, yeah, I started off in Little Gritters. Had a wonderful experience. Played grade school basketball, and then went on to high school to continue.
Okay. Where'd you go to high school? End up going to high school? Huh?
Went to Tech,
Okay.
and played under Ronnie Costello. Just a great guy. He truly was a father figure to me. Very supportive, very encouraging, very demanding. And I ran track for Fred Trott. I was a sprinter.
Okay.
100, 880 relay, 220. And I did a little bit of wrestling, but it was football and track that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so fortunate in having those two guys as my head coach, along with the assistants that were there.
Right.
That really provided with just a wonderful experience.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember anything about your teams? Any memories from high school, like games or anything?
Now, last carry, I should have cut back.
Did you play running back in high school?
Yeah, I was a two-way starter as a 10th grader, and played running back and linebacker. And Ronnie Costello took over a program that hadn't won a game in 3 years.
Mm.
So, of course, our first victory against Titusville was a big thing, a big deal. And we got progressively better as those years went on. And But yeah, that really did happen. I had an interception at the end of the game against Jamestown. The score was 0-0. And I heard the horn going off as I'm running back. That's it. This is the end of the game, and this is my last carry. And I tried to outrun the pursuit because I thought I could outrun the pursuit. And got tackled on about the 20, and that ended the game. I know doggone well if I'd have cut back, it would have been a different story.
Right.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast, but I can tell you about that.
Oh yeah. We never forget those. We never forget them.
Yeah.
Any play after high school? Did you go on to college to play any?
Yes, I was really fortunate. I heard from a few schools, a lot of the state schools, and really thanks to Coach Marnella, who was an assistant on the football staff. He attended Slippery Rock, and I was hearing from Slippery Rock, and that's where I ended up playing under Coach Bob DeSpirito.
Okay.
Wonderful guy, great staff. He won a couple PSAC conferences. Just a great bunch of guys. I love the college. Choosing Irene as my wife and Slippery Rock as my college was two good choices that I had made. Yeah, I had a wonderful experience there. I did end up getting injured ending my career. Some pretty good injuries that, well, at any rate. I tell you, I was honored because the head coach at that time, Bob DeSpirito, asked if I would like to be an assistant student coach to the JV team at Slippery Rock. And boy, I jumped all over that opportunity. Ronnie Hunt, who was an All-American for us, was a grad assistant there. He was the head coach. And a bunch of us guys that ran out of eligibility or were injured ended up coaching the JVs, and we went 6-0 that year.
Okay.
So that's what really launched me into coaching.
Okay. Where did you? Is that where you got started at Slippery Rock, or?
Yeah, actually at Slippery Rock
Okay.
as the student assistant, and then I came back here to Erie to student teach at McDowell. Jim Paul was the head coach at that time.
Okay.
And he says, you want to help out as a student teacher? And of course I jumped on that. So there's a couple of years there at McDowell. And then an opening occurred on the tech staff with Ronnie Costello to be the assistant JV coach under the legendary Danny DeTullio. And that's where a great relationship started with Coach DeTullio and myself. Our first year coaching the JVs, we went undefeated. Following year, I think we lost 1 or 2 games. In 2 years, we lost like maybe 2 games.
Yeah.
And then Danny applied for the head coach at Academy.
Okay.
And took me as his assistant. And our first year there at Academy, we won the Metro Championship.
When would this be, like
That was 78.
78. Okay.
We lost our first 2 games and then ran the table. 79, we lost 1 game to Tech, and they went on to win the Metro Championship. And then after that, I took a grad assistantship at Edinburgh, which was a wonderful experience. And upon finishing up my master's there, Mercyhurst College, now university, was starting their football program in 1981. And I applied for an assistant position there, and Tony DeMeo gave me an opportunity. Tony got hired as the head coach there. And we started the program at Mercyhurst beginning in 1981.
Okay.
I was there through 89, Western Connecticut after that. Came back home. Oh boy, let me get these right.
Did DeMeo write some books? Because I thought, did he have some coaching books out there?
Oh, Tony, yes.
I thought I saw a few things, like in magazines and stuff like that, like coaching books and stuff like that.
Very prolific. Spoke at a lot of clinics, banquets. He's a real witty guy.
Okay.
And a really strategic, bright guy. I learned an awful lot from him and his staff. And yeah, I'll bet you he's written 4 or 5 books.
I thought I saw a few of them.
And it's just come out with one recently that I saw. That was my first break at that level. I did go on to coach at Western Connecticut, and then at Edinburgh under Tom Holman, Gannon University under Tom Herman. Tom Herman is approaching somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 years of coaching.
Wow, yeah, he's been around long.
Oh,
I mean, just
man, such a great guy. Just ran into him the other night, as a matter of fact. And as they prepare, because he's still at Mercyhurst coaching there. They've made the leap to Division One, and they're opening next Thursday down in Virginia. Let me see who else. Coached at Prep for 1 year, and then with Joe Tarasovich when we went to the Western Finals.
right, right.
It was Coach Tarasovich, Timmy Holland, Straz, Galich. We had a great staff, a lot of fun, a lot of wins, and just a great, great bunch of kids. It was really a great experience.
Right. Any moments or games that you from your coaching career you say that you always remember?
I'll always remember the McKeesport game. That was in '94. We lost to them 7-6. And they had a kid by the name of Brandon Short that went on to play at Penn State. They had another good defensive end, a kid by the name of Wilson. It's popped out in the film.
Right.
And we lost to them 7-6. Played a heck of a game against them. And then when they played for the state championship, I forget who it was who they played out east.
Downington, maybe something like that.
Yeah,
Something like
it
that.
may have been, as a matter
Maybe
of fact.
one of those type. I'm not sure, but I'm just recalling who they
Yeah,
played.
because Downington has always been a good program, so it could have very well been. And boy, they beat them up. McKeesport beat them up
Right.
35-7. So, which leads me to believe, man, we would have been.
You would have
right
been a
there.
state title, state title
Yeah.
winner. Yeah.
I've had guys that I've worked under, worked with, just wonderful experiences. Guys of great moral character and supportive, and a lot of fun to be around.
Right, right. So you look back at your career, what are you most proud of? What are some things you're most proud of as far as your coaching career?
You know, the wins and losses, that's a lot of fun to sit around and talk about and so forth. What I really enjoy and which really touches me deeply is when I run into former players and I get a hug, and such as yourself.
Right, always.
And we reminisce, and sometimes I'll get a card from them, an invite to some place, and a thank you from them. And it always just warms my heart and means so much to me.
Right.
And as a result of that, my family has had a great experience with that. My wife and daughter that you know.
Right.
And, they too give the hug and give the thank yous. And that's what it's all about, really. And that's the most warming part of it.
Right.
That is so special.
Anything like moments in coaching? I know you said as a player you cut back that other time. Any moments in coaching you think, man, if I'd have made this call or did this or did that? Are there any old?
It's like Frank Sinatra, regrets. I've had a few.
Yeah,
Yeah, there are times I think we should have blitzed a little more there. Or faked ISO and ran a reverse. It probably would have been a success when you look at film on Sunday. Things of that nature. I regret that I didn't do a better job of time management and spending more time with my daughter, being away from her.
Yeah,
so
because it
much.
takes a lot of time. Oh, yeah.
It takes a lot of time. And Natalie was always supportive. She's always at the games, on the field after the game, and so forth and so on. But that's one of the things that, I think I could have done a better job. Other than that, I mean, you're always going to second guess yourself, even after the wins.
Right.
And
We
looking
did
at
that,
film,
could
and
did
yeah,
this.
man, we still could have got better here and better there. I mean, I'm sure there's 1,000 of those, but the one that really jumps out at me is the family time together. I could have done a better job.
Right. Yeah, I heard Jimmy Johnson say something about that too, because of course when he went to the NFL, he said, I don't think he ever saw his kids play any of the games, and like him and his kids finally came to grips to, he was trying to provide a life for him, or he was working, but he said it's still tough to deal with. So definitely, So, Coach, if you had all the players that you coached, worked with, in front of you right now, and the people you coach with, what would you say to them?
I would say thank you. Thank you for the success that I enjoyed because I stood on your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really a quote from Isaac Newton that I just stole. But I mean that sincerely. I was blessed to be around a bunch of great guys, players and coaches, supportive staff, administrators, and that would be my message to them. Mm-hmm. Just thank you so very, very much. It really made it an important and fun part of my life and my family.
Right. Any advice for young coaches getting into it today that you could offer and share to?
Yeah. And I was reading an article about this just the other day someplace, and it struck me. My advice to them is pay attention to all the stuff, all the surroundings, the feedback, the body language, what the message really is. How are you carrying yourself? How are you behaving? How are you acting? How are you keeping things in proper proportion? Part two of that would be celebrate. Mm-hmm. Not just the victories, but the little stuff. The kid that got better that day. The kid that is doing better in English class.
Right.
The kid that is showing up for school and behaving. Celebrate all of those things. And do what we're doing right now. Tell the story.
Tell the stories.
The storytelling is so important. Mm-hmm. It's impactful, and it's a lot of fun.
Right.
So I would advise those three things.
Right. Awesome. Anything else you want to share, Coach, before we wrap up today?
Now that I'm out of coaching, I am now a member of the Erie Lions Club.
Okay.
We put on the Save a Knife football game
Mm-hmm.
every year. Coming up, we're approaching game 87. And I ask that you please get involved with the Erie Lions Club. It's a great organization. It puts on the Save a Knife football game. We're approaching game 87, second longest reigning high school all-star game in the country. Ways that you can get involved is to become a member. It's a lot of fun, great bunch of guys. It's for a great cause for the visually impaired. All of the money stays local. The other thing you can do is take out an ad in our program, mm-hmm. as you have done with the Breeze Band, which is appreciated. You've done that year after year. And the third thing is to become what we call it, the players list. Mm-hmm. For a one-time donation of $50, you'll get your name in the program in perpetuity and 2 tickets to the upcoming game this year. To do any of that stuff, get a hold of me, 814-651-3176, or email me, kbrasington@icloud.com. And it's a way for us to extend our playing and coaching careers mm-hmm. for a great cause.
Right.
Well, I thank you so very much. This meant a lot to me. I thank you for the invite. Any of my players, thank you. God bless. Wish you the very best.
Once again, Coach Ken Brasington, he was player and coach in the Erie, PA area and also in college. Coach, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mo.
Thank you.